Today we're going over the 6 variables of exercise programming: intensity, force, frequency, tempo, type, and volume. Understanding these is really important because they're what allow you to control the outcomes of your training and get the results you're actually looking for. So just a quick overview before we dive in. Intensity is how hard you're working. Force is the absolute energy output per rep. Frequency is how often a workout or exercise is performed. Tempo is the rate at which each rep is executed. Type is the specific exercise and variation you're doing. And volume is the total amount of work calculated by multiplying weight times reps times sets and sometimes frequency. So why does any of this matter? Basically, these 6 variables give you the ability to manipulate your program so that you're producing the specific adaptations you want. If your goal is to build muscle, you adjust these variables so that muscle growth is the main thing happening. If it's power, endurance, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can dial these things to match that goal. And the great thing is all 6 of these are adjustable at any time, whether you need to make things harder, easier, or work around an injury. Now, it's also worth mentioning that there are things that affect your workouts that you can't control. The big one is genetics. Some people just have a natural advantage in certain activities, and that's just the reality. Then there's things like temperature and environment, especially if you're training outside, access to equipment, and motivation. These things can all have an impact on your performance and results, even though you can't necessarily include them as part of your program. Okay, so the first variable is intensity. Intensity is just how hard you're working, the amount of effort you're putting in. It's usually measured using the RPE scale, which stands for the rate of perceived exertion. It's basically a mental check-in on your effort level. The key thing to understand about intensity is that it's relative. So if you have a sprinter going all out for 100 meters and a marathon runner going all out for a full marathon, their paces are completely different, but they're both giving 100% effort relative to what they're doing. Next is force. Force is the energy output per rep. And unlike intensity, force is absolute, not relative. So using that same example, even though the sprinter and marathon runner might have similar intensity levels, the sprinter is producing way more force per step. From a lifting standpoint, if you bench 100 pounds, the amount of force required to move that weight is the same, whether you can do it once or 100 times. The force required to move that 100 pounds doesn't change, just your ability to repeat it. Then we have frequency, which is just how often a workout or exercise is performed. And this matters a lot. There's a huge difference between training once a week versus 3 times a day. Frequency can also refer to the rest between sets within a session. 30-second rest between sets is going to feel and perform very differently than 5-minute rest between sets. Tempo is the rate at which each rep is performed. Slow controlled reps maximize time under tension, which is great for muscle growth. Fast explosive reps are better for developing power. In a running context, if you're going uphill, your tempo slows down because your step rate decreases. Going downhill, it speeds up. So the same idea. Type refers to the specific exercise and variation you're performing. Running uphill versus downhill, or front squats versus back squats, those are different types. A front squat and a back squat both work the same muscles because they're both squats. So they both work the quads, the core, glutes, the lower back, but depending on the specific variation, the emphasis will shift. So for example, front squats put more emphasis on the quads and core, while back squats put more emphasis on the glutes and lower back. The important thing with exercise type is that you should be choosing variations based on your goals, your capabilities, your medical history, and what equipment you have available. The right variation is going to get you to your goal a lot faster. And lastly, volume. Volume is the total amount of work done in a workout. And as mentioned earlier, it's calculated by multiplying weight by reps by sets. So for example, if you bench 50 pounds for 10 reps and do that for 3 sets, your total volume is 1,500 pounds. If you look at it at a broader scale, like weekly volume, you just include frequency. So if you do that same workout, but now let's say you do it twice a week, your total volume for the week would be 3,000 pounds. So to recap, intensity, force, frequency, tempo, type, and volume. These 6 variables are the foundation of any well-designed exercise program. Understanding them gives you the tools to train smarter and get better results. Thank you for watching.